Hey you guys, and welcome to my March TBR video. So usually, this is also going to be my Goodreads challenge update video. So let's start with the Goodreads challenge, and I am 9 books behind on my goal. She whispers somewhat silently. Yeah, I know it's shameful. I'm 9 books behind on my goal. My goal, for those of you who don't know, is 100. It's always 100. I always feel like I buy a lot of books. I have a lot of unread books. I should at least read 100 books. But sometimes it's shameful because not all the books I read are my own. So I'm really trying to make it a goal this year to read more of my books, and more specifically more of my physical books, and to give up said books when I really don't like them. But just because you love the cover doesn't mean you should keep them on your shelves, ke-sha. Just don't. But yes, usually by this time of the year I'm actually ahead on my goal, and it isn't until later that I get like on track and then a little bit behind. So maybe we'll be doing a switcheroo this year. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll do another video later on kind of mentioning more of the readathons like that I want to participate in. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get to them, all of them this year, but hey, yeah, but I'll touch on that briefly in with one of these book series. And then for the hashtag yearathon, that happening this week, it started on Monday. I'll leave the group down below as well as the YouTube video and stuff. The challenge is marathon series, and then the theme is retelling, so that will be reflected in my TBR. And hopefully, if for some way miracle I get through all these books before the end of the month, I definitely have more books behind. So the first book that I want to read is The Beauty and Beast by Gabrielle Susanna Barbeau du Villeneuve. Yep. I totally mumbled that last bit, but I definitely want to read Beauty and the Beast, the original story. And this is the Interactive Elements edition, and it is so beautiful. I really want to get the Little Mermaid one. It came out this month. And then The Secret Garden comes out later in the year. So I really want to get those two before the year is up. And I already own the Peter Pan one and the Jungle Book one. But this is going to be the first one that I read because I've already read the Peter Pan one, but I have a different edition of that one. Moving on from that, the next thing I want to read is Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. This is a Beauty and Beast retelling. And this one follows this princess, and she is this blind princess, and she has grown up to be a sacrifice for her people, and then there are the like second class citizens, monster type people look down, and there's this one guy who gets arrested or whatever, but he really wants to help his people, and him and the princess come into contact apparently, and then she has to she really wants to help out, but she also is learning like some secrets going on, and she has to, I think there's a choice between like the people and then the second class citizens, and getting her sight back apparently. So that's going to be interesting. And then the next thing that I have is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and that is Abandoned. This will be a reread for me. My friend has the other 2 books right now, but I will definitely pick them up if I actually read this one. The first time I read it, it didn't go so well, but that was mainly due to like how the book was formatted. So hopefully the second time goes much better. But it follows this girl, and she had died before, but she is back, and she is just kind of go over that bump of when she died, but escaping from the underworld has like repercussions. Of course, she's kind of being followed, and one of these guys just keeps popping up when she kind of most wants him the most and needs him the most, basically. And then, but does she really want to go back to the underworld type thing? So there's that. And then moving on, we have Ferris by Marissa Mayer, and this is LaFawn's story, and she's crazy and horrible, but I will read her story, and I'm not sure. I don't think she's ever going to be a sympathetic villain. She's just going to be hateful. Moving on from that, so with the marathon, the series thing, there is this one part, though, that I've been thinking of. Instead of like marathoning series, I might just marathon the end of some series, because I have a lot of last books that I need to get to. So the first one in that theme is The Great Coat Book 4 by Sebastian de Castell. Tyrant's Throne. I love the first 3. I marathoned the first 3 last year, and then I have to get to this one. I'm gonna be so sad that it ends, but I need to let it go because I have so many series on my shelves that I have to let go of not wanting to leave the world. But it's a great series, and I highly recommend it. And then I have The Red Queen's War, Book 3 by Mark Lawrence. The Will of Oshima, again, third book, last set in this world, but I have other books by this author, so time to let it go, ke-sha. And then I have The Vast and Brutal Sea, which is the third book in the Vicious Deep trilogy, and I really need to get to this one because the second one, like, something happens and I'm just like, both times that I've read it, and I've never gotten to the third one, and I feel like the third one will hinge on how well I accept what happened, like the outcome of what happened in the second book. So that will be an interesting take. And then moving on, I have The Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So we have The Naturals, Killer Instinct, All In, and Bad Blood, and this is like a Criminal Minds YA series. So these teens are kind of recruited by the FBI because they have natural abilities, like natural ability profile, to do like math and all these crazy numbers, and to be able to tell when someone is lying and like stuff like that. So, and it really, and following our main protagonist in the first book, like there's some history to her and like a serial killer case like they're working on. So that was definitely great, and I reread the first one last year, but I still haven't gotten to 2, 3, and 4, so I really want to do that, and I hear that, and I really want to discuss it with people, so that'd be great. The last one is like Giselle from Giselle Bradley. I'm gonna link the video where she talked about this below, but she has like readathons, read-alongs every month. She picks like a romance and fantasy, but she was also talking about some other books that she's reading with other people, and one of the ones that I was just all ready for was her Artemis Fowl read along with somebody, and I definitely want to join in this one because I never finished the Artemis Fowl series. I think even on this channel, like I started rereading them, and then somewhere along the way I was reading so many books that I just kind of stopped, but I'm like, no, this time I will get to it and I will see it all the way through. And these are the books right here. I've been having these books forever. In a day, like I found like my old like high school thing from when I was like in 11th grade, I believe, class schedule. That's how old these books are. I found it in this book actually. But we have Artemis Fowl, the Arctic Incident, Artemis Fowl, the Eternity Code, Artemis Fowl, the Opal Descent, and then Artemis Fowl, the Lost Colony, which I think may have been the last one that I have read, maybe, or the last one that I didn't read. Then I have the Time Paradox, then the Atlantis Complex, and the Last Guardian. So if you guys don't know, Artemis Fowl follows this 12-year-old criminal mastermind. He grows up through the books, and he wants to steal from the fairies, and then just all these things happen over the course of these books, and I just love it so much. And also they have their own language for like this, and he gives you like a decoder thing in here, and like I used to know it so well that I could do it when I was just looking at it. I probably spent too much time decoding stuff because it runs all along the bottom pages. So I am really hoping to get to most of these books by the middle of the month. I know for someone who hasn't been reading, that is such a major goal, but if I do achieve that goal, but even if I don't, before the end of the month would be great. I mean by the end of the month. But if by some miracle I read most of these books, I of course have tons of other books that are kind of on my mind, like the Wallbanger series by Alicia, what's her name? I'll leave it down below, but that's a romance series, and then the rest of the Paper Princess series by Erin Watts. I have those, so all those are on my mind. You guys let me know what you guys plan to read for the month of March. If you guys have read any of these books before, if you guys plan on reading any of these books anytime soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.